Grand Rising, Supreme Rising, beloveds. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing wonderful, of course. I wanted to come on and do this video. It fell on my heart, and it's something that I have not heard anybody really talk about ever. And so I'm going to talk about it, and it's a book actually that I want to do a review on and share with you guys, and just kind of take you into a different angle of nature, the topic of kind of the topic of nature, and kind of share this with you because, of course, you guys know they have hid so much from us, and so there's so many things, big things and small things that are so hidden that we've been missing out on so much. And this topic I'm going to talk about is called The Hidden Life of Trees. I'm going to give you a little information. I'm going to share this book and just kind of give you something that, I have not seen, in the YouTube world talked about. And I'm sure somebody somewhere is talking about it, but it's just, I have not seen it. So I want to share this. It kind of moved me to share this with you this morning. But before I get into it, I want to, for those who are new to my channel, I am Layla Awake. I am your Black empowerment content creator. And I tell you, if whatever I talk about is going to always be tied to the elevation and the freedom of our people in some way, small or large, it's going to tie in there. And so, like I said before, they hid so much information from us guys that we're having to dig deep in order to get all of these little tidbits. And whether we view it as something small or something large, like I said, it's all information, and it's information that is much needed. Before I get started, though, I'm going to ask you to like the video because when you like it, more can see it. And if you would, please share the video so even more can see it. I appreciate you so much for that, family. This little book, it's called The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wohlleben. Let me show it to you. The Hidden Life of Trees. Guys, it is the most amazing book. One of the most amazing little books I have ever read before in my life. And I'm still in the process of reading it. But it's so magnificent that it's such a magnificent read that I had to stop and do a book review on it, and also to give you some tidbits that you may not know. So first thing I want to mention, guys, trees are livable beings. They are beings. They are alive. Trees, they form families. There's so many things. This book says trees, what they feel, how they communicate, and this discoveries of a secret world. They never taught us this in school, and it just angers me that so many things they have hidden from us that is so important to our lives, our daily lives. And so let me read this. Are trees social beings? Peter says, in this international bestseller, forester and author Peter Wohlleben convincingly makes the case that yes, they are living beings. I told you. I did know that much. Trees are living beings. He draws on groundbreaking scientific discoveries to describe how trees are like human families. Tree parents live together with their children. They communicate with them. They support them as they grow. They share nutrients with those who are sick or struggling, and even warn each other of impending danger. Wohlleben also shares his deep love of the woods and the forest, explaining the amazing processes of life, death, and regeneration he has observed in the woodlands. I tell you, he suggests after you read this book, a walk in the woods will never be the same. And I am experiencing how I feel when I walk out, amongst the trees. After reading in this book, he's right. There's a whole different experience that you take in because you're so more aware about the surroundings of the trees. And you start to take notice of so many things. A powerful reminder to slow down and tune into the language of nature. Soon after we begin to recognize trees for what they are, gigantic beings thriving against incredible odds for hundreds of years, we naturally come to ask, how do they do it? This charming book will tell you how. I read in the foreword. This was so amazing when I read it. It just really blew my mind. And it talks about the answer is that trees need to communicate, and electrical impulses are just one of their means of communication. They thrive on electrical impulses, just like we do. Trees also use the sense of smell. Listen to this, guys. The sense of smells and taste for communication. If a giraffe starts eating an African acacia, the tree releases a chemical into the air that signals that a threat is at hand. This is how human, so to speak, trees are. As the chemical drifts through the air and reaches other trees, they smell it, and they are warned of the danger. Even before the giraffe reaches them, they begin producing toxic chemicals. Insect pests are dealt with slightly differently. The saliva of leaf-eating insects can be tasted by the leaf that's being eaten. In response, the tree sends out a chemical signal that attracts predators that feed on that particular leaf-eating insect. Life in the slow lane is clearly not always dull. But the most astonishing thing about trees is how social they are. Guys, they are social. They are like us. They are like us. They are beings. They live in families just like us. The trees in the forest care for each other just like we do, or we're supposed to. Sometimes even going so far as to nourish the stump of a felled tree for centuries after it was cut down by feeding it sugars and other nutrients, and so keeping it alive. Only some stumps are thus nourished. Guys, this little book is so amazing. I know that nature is real. We know that now. Many of us we already knew it, but with what's happening on the planet right now, there's more and more information coming out about nature. But to talk about things that are significant in nature, like the trees and the what I see as the human behavior. This little book blew my mind. And I want you guys to consider, maybe this can be a read when you've read everything else, all of the big stuff, and you got a few minutes, and because it's a small book. It's not a long read. But soon after we began to recognize trees for what they are, your world is gonna change when it comes to nature. And throughout nature, the trees, when you walk out in nature, the first thing you notice is the trees. These large plant beings. It's the first thing you notice because they're the most largest plant out there. And so to realize that there's so much more mystery that is actually being uncovered today for those who want the information. It's just simply, it's simply amazing. This book is just simply amazing. And it just gives you specifics, talks about the love and how just walking outside and hugging a tree, how much spiritual enhancement it will give you. It's just, I don't know. I'm just intrigued, guys, and it just gives you so much information. It talks about the difference in trees and the metamorphosis of their growth. Um, consider picking up this little book, and they may have it at a half price bookstore or resale bookstore. That's where I found it, and actually it looks like a brand new book. But it is such an amazing read, a paradigm smashing chronicle of joyous entanglement that will make you acknowledge your own entanglement in the ancient and ever new web of being. This little book can tie you into information that is so much needed for yourself. Just by opening up and reading this, you will be able to connect. It's just, I don't know, it's so hard to put in words. But it's an amazing book, guys. And I want you guys to consider picking it up and finding the time to read it. It's amazing. I want to share this with you, though, before I sign out, because many people didn't know this. I didn't know this for a long time. But did you know that we used to see trees bearing fruit? Many of you might remember. I can remember, because when I was growing up, we didn't have to buy fruit. We could walk outside and pick our own fruit. Figs, peaches, plums, Japanese plums, pomegranates. We had all kinds of fruit. I grew up in Florida too, so there was nothing to walk outside and eat. And fruit is actually for the neuromelanin family. That's our natural food. That is what we should be eating. It's fruit. That's our diet. And there's a reason why, of course. But did you know that we used to see trees bearing fruit all over the place? I grew up in the 70s, and anywhere you went, there were trees. You would always see trees, and there was always food. There was no reason for anyone to be hungry anywhere when I grew up. And I remember noticing that these trees began to die over a period of time. And I think it was like in the late 70s, they started disappearing. But the evils destroyed them. The evils destroyed the trees. And the trees that bared fruit were the female trees. So the evils began to destroy them, and so that we couldn't eat for free. Then they planted all male trees, because of course scientists say we need oxygen, and trees give us oxygen. So they planted all male trees. And of course, you need a male and female in order to produce. So if they only planting male trees, the only thing male trees is going to offer you is pollen. And pollen causes allergies. So the fact that the evils killed all the female trees and planted only male trees that only produce pollen, then of course the allergy problem began to be enhanced. That's why we have so much allergy in so many places, because we only have the male trees. They destroyed the female trees so that we couldn't eat. This is real, guys. This is real. This is just how important trees are. They feed us. This travesty is called botanical sexism. It's called botanical sexism. And many people don't even know that took place. Now, I didn't understand it and understand it to be as it is, but I do remember being able to walk out my door and eat, because when I was growing up, my friends and I, we used to go, and some of my siblings, we used to go and pick fruit. It was nothing to just walk out the door and pick a piece of fruit. There was no reason for anybody to go hungry. But yes, they destroyed all the trees, all of the female trees, all across the nation. And they planted male trees. And the only thing the male trees are going to offer you is pollen. And so that's why today you don't see peach trees, apple trees, and fig trees like we used to growing up. Those of you that are in my age group, I grew up in the 70s. And so I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but think about it. We used to see trees with fruit, bearing fruit everywhere. It was no big deal. And we would pick fruit and bring it home. And my mother used to make pastry dishes. She would send us to go pick blueberries, and she'll make she used to make this dish called a blackberry doobie. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but it's like a dumpling type pastry dish that you make it in a boiler. But fruit was so plentiful before they destroyed the female trees. So trees are very, very important, and they are living beings. They are living beings. So I tell you, be careful when you walking amongst the forest. Start paying attention to trees. And also be careful about trying to cut down trees. I know there's laws out there, the so-called laws that protects trees, and it's sad that they got these laws protecting these male trees, and they didn't even protect the female trees. So it's not like they care, but they have their motives. But trees are living beings. So we need to always remember that and know that we need to respect the trees just like we should be respecting each other. So I just wanted to share that with you. Again, I'm going to show you the book one more time. And it's very intriguing, guys. I promise you, if you have any kind of curiosity about this topic, even just a little bit, it's worth it to go and find this book. It's an amazing book. And when I'm having some free time and I'm just lying around, relaxing, I'll open this book and just read a chapter or two. I'll be done soon. But I'm taking my time, and I am absorbing the information because it is so intriguing to me. So I just wanted to come on and just do a little video just to share that book. That book was just that fascinating that I wanted to do a video and share it with you guys. So many things are fascinating to me, things that may not be a big deal to other people, and it's just me and the things that excite me. And I can get excited about something such as, a book on trees. And guys, I may ever so often come on and just want to share it with you. And who knows, there may be somebody out there that might become intrigued by what I share. So again, find that book. You will be so glad that you did. And take and read it. And I think you'll like it. So guys, I'm not going to stay on. I just wanted to come in and share that a little bit. So I'm going to ask you again to like the video and share the video so others can see it. I appreciate you so much for that. And I'm going to sign out now. And I hope you guys have a most beautiful day today. I'm going to say assalamu alaikum to you. Namaste. Shalom. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Take care. Get some sun, guys. It's a little sunny out here in Texas. I think I'm going to go out and get a little bit and hug somebody. There's always someone that needs a hug. I love you immensely. What can I say? Peace be unto you guys. And until next time, I'm going to say bye-bye.